This is Jim Nailon, liturgical guitarist. I'm going to share my arrangement of the hymn Softly and Tenderly, Jesus is Calling. This is an old hymn I grew up with in the Baptist church, but it's in the Catholic hymnal now in Breaking Bread, and so we use it, and I'll play through this and then I'll talk about it. Well, in this arrangement, I've been playing this for, maybe 20 years. I recorded it on my Praying the Guitar CD, and I added a violin accompaniment part. And it's a nice arrangement, but I've never really posted it online because I used my thumb so much on it, and it seemed hard to annotate it. But I finally decided that I was going to get it online, and what made me decide to do it was I'm just going to write it out the way I play it. I'm not going to try and change anything to simplify it or whatever. And so if you need to simplify things, go right ahead. But let's talk through it. Now you notice I used my thumb on the F chord and the D over F sharp, and I left a note on the sheet music that says, check out the tutorial videos for ways to play this without using your thumb for the bass. So as we go through it and I hit those areas where I play it with my thumb, I'll also show you some workarounds where you won't need to use your thumb. So starting right in, it's pretty simple. At the beginning, a C chord. Well, also, my guitar is tuned down a half step, so that's why I'm capoed on the first fret, and you shouldn't need a capo if you're in standard tuning. Here we go. Playing melody around, and then to the F chord here I use the thumb around, and then I go to this F over C with a hammer on, or a, yeah, a little trill. So you can just do a bar chord. If you're good at your bar chords, you can come off play it. That one's an easy word. Just do a regular bar if you're a bar kind of player. Going on. Second line, now on this D over F sharp. And then the G. So I'm using my thumb on that low G too. So to do that without using your thumb, you would play the D use your little finger again on the melody note, but then your third finger plays the A, the second fret of the third string, and your second finger is going to play the bass, the second fret of the first string. And then on this hammer-on, on this double hammer-on, instead of using your first and second fingers, use your second and third fingers, and then slide up on them. And then bring your first finger over to get the bass on the G. And then your hammer on here is going to be the 16th notes there at the end of that measure 8. You can you've got your third finger up there instead of your second finger on that B. So your third finger's on the fourth fret of the third string, and you're going to hammer on your little finger to the fifth fret, to the fourth string, and then play the note that's already down, which is your second finger, playing the D on the third fret of the second string. If you're using your thumb around, it's as written. I'm playing like a D chord, but I don't need the first string. So, and then I hammer on with the first and second fingers, and then slide those up 2 frets, and then grab the bass on the third fret with my thumb. And then I hammer on with my little finger like that. Okay, and then moving on, measure 9 again, it's like the beginning. Now here we're doing sixths. So first and second finger then, and then the bass, and lift off, open. Put the first and second fingers down. And then that same thing with the F, only this time we're going to do a little hammer on. Or you could bar. So there's measure 12, third line. Going on. And then a double hammer on here on the open first and third strings, and then hammer on like that, and then C, G, C, and F over C, and hammer on the third string, open to the second fret with your second finger. Then last measure of that third line, G, a little riff going on here. So G, and then hammer on the third string, open to the second fret, and then the second string open to the is that a 1? I can't read that. Okay, I gotta fix that. So hammer on there with your first finger, and then get the little finger here on the melody on the third fret of the second string, and then your third finger is going to play the seventh of the chord, the F natural, and then open first string, and then your second finger plays the third of the chord, the B, on the second fret of the fifth string. So you get that run, it goes into a C, and then hammer it on, open in sixth here, the open first or second and fourth string, and then you get your first and second fingers down, and then hammer on with your third and fourth fingers, and then pluck those and slide 2 frets, and then bring your first finger down to get the C bass on the third fret of the fifth string. So that sounds like let's go back to the last measure of the third line. And then you drop into a D7, but now you're playing your D7 up here in the fifth position. It's just like a C7, only up 2 frets. So your D is actually the fifth fret of the fifth string. And then drop down to an A7. So the first beat of that last measure of the page 1, I'm going to I'm going to play all 3 of the first, second, and third strings. And then I just play the second and third strings are tied, so you don't play them again, but you play the first string. And then a D7, and then top of page 2, G, and then the first finger plays the second fret of the first string, and then slides down to the first fret. Then a hammer on that first string. And you're back into familiar territory here. The 6. And again, that F chord we just passed over, you could bar that. Double hammer on there on the first and third strings, and then C, G. Then we're going to modulate at A7. Now we're going to do a verse in the key of D. So start out with a D sus2, and then hammer on with your second finger. And then now we're going to pluck the D bass, and our first and second fingers on the right hand are going to play the second and third strings. And then we're going to have a little drone here. Your third finger on your right hand is going to play the open E string. And then into an A. So go down, grab that second fret of the second string, but keep back to the third fret. And then reach over with your second finger to the G bass. Leave your third finger down, and you get this kind of a little dissonance there. And then bring it. So then this is measure 36. Starting at G. D bass, and then you bring your little finger over to the fourth fret of the third string, and you get these thirds here on second, third strings. And then just when you hit that D chord there on the second beat, it's just 2 notes. But make sure you bring out the A there, the second fret of the third string you're playing with your first finger. You want that to be nice and loud. Otherwise, you're gonna get too much of the D and not enough of the A. That's an open fifth, which we're not used to hearing very often, but it works there. The other option would be, if you wanted to, if you really wanted the third in there, you could play it this way. Can you see that? Yeah. But I like the open fifth. And then moving on. Now measure 40, line 4 of the second page, the E chord. Or some nice little hammer-ons and pull-offs. So the E would be, and then the A. And I think I figured that A for people that play it like a 2, 1, and 3 fingering here. So yeah, I did. You could also do it with, if you do 1, 2, 3 fingering, you can do, that works. Or you can play it like I do with, I get these 2 strings down with my first finger, and I still got the open second string clean. So then going on to the D, just like at the start. And so on this G here, at measure, we're in the last line now, the end of measure 46. I got my 4th finger on the G and my 3rd finger on the D there. And then a D chord, and I'm going to do a pull-off. Pull off with my second finger. And then A. And a little hammer on here on the G. Pull off again, and then the A. This I figured like I play it, because it's a little trickier to play it the standard ways. But you can do it if you're playing like, let's say you're doing, you'd have to drop out the bottom, the notes on the note on the 4th string, let that stop ringing. And then you're going to slide up with your slide up on your second finger to the 4th fret. Put your first finger on the 3rd fret of the second string, and then back into your A. Little hammer on there on the 1st string, and then we're at the top of page 3 in the D chord there. Hammer on, pull off, and we go to the E chord, a full E chord. Arpeggiate up the chord. B7. You're going to hammer on with your little finger. And when you play when you get to that A, you're going to slide on the A. And you have to let the bass go. And so you're going to slide on this third finger up to the fourth fret, and then play the fourth fret of the first string, because you're sliding your first finger too, or your little finger on the first string. And then the open E string, or B string. And then drop into this A with a 2/3 bar on the second fret. And then a little hammer on here between your fourth and third strings, your fourth and third fingers. And then bring your first finger down on the third fret to get the seventh. And then hammer on with your second finger. Actually, it's your second finger playing the seventh there on the third fret of the first string. Back to the D chord. Come on through all this. Now we're getting to the ending here, and a G with a riff. So I want to hit the melody nice and hard here on the third fret of the second string. Hammer on with my first finger on the third string, and then open second string, hammer on, open first string, and then I lift everything off and I hit. I'm just going to play a single note, and I want to make as much as I can out of this vibrato on this G. And then the little hammer on and pull off. So that you can have a little guitar moment there. There's a little retard in there to accentuate it if you want. And then last line. And we're going to go play a 3-note G chord on the fourth, third, and second strings, and then drone the open first string. Drop that down to a D chord, and then to a A7 sus4, and then a D sus2 actually, with an open E. And when you hit that open E first string, and then you're gonna grab the D here and slide it up to the 5th fret. No, slide it to the 7th fret. So you're going to slide from the 3rd fret to the 7th fret. Then your first finger goes down on the 5th fret of the first string, and then on the bar you put a little 1/2 bar on the 3rd string, and your little finger goes up and plays the 10th fret, along with the open D bass. You give a little vibrato there. So that last chord looks like this, if I can get it in the camera there. So that's Softly and Tenderly. I don't think I have anything much more to say about that. I just like my last arrangement I posted, Just As I Am. This changes the 2 keys from C to D, and it's one of them that I grew up with in the Southern Baptist Church. It was used along with Just As I Am as an invitation at the end of the service. I can remember those painfully. So they would drag on and on and on. But anyway, I hope you enjoy this. Look for more arrangements on liturgicalguitarist.com. I pray God blesses your playing, and I wish you peace.